Probably for most of you guys, I'm still younger than most of you guys, but for the last almost 5 years, me and my team has been doing one thing and one thing particular. We are working 10 hours a day and 7 days a week without weekends to try to find a way to define a good company, to define a good startup, to see if a startup is worth invest into by the help of data and especially alternative data. Let's see, these are not alternative data actually. There are two types of data in my point of view. The first one is statistical. So this is an example of statistical data. The first one is very obviously it's last year. So this is the year when I make my first investment in a blockchain project. The reason I made the decision that this particular project has accumulated 50,845 users in 1 week, and me and my team has focused that this number can grow 10 times larger by the time of next year. So we have invested our year's salary into this project. And the third number is 99. Actually, I made this PowerPoint a week ago, and right now it's 99.9%. This is the percentage of money I've lost on this project. And basically, I lose all my money on this project. So I'm pretty poor right now. So a poor guy. Okay. Even for today, if the very similar project showed up with the same number or the similar number, I would still have made the very similar decision, which is to give the money, to write a check, to give the check to the funder. So this can be very biased, the data people send you and you have access to, and this biased data you get from different data sources. So these data sources will let you see what you want you to see, and then you can behave accordingly to these data sources, what they have in their mind. And for example, we have been around and been flooded by different types of data. The first kind is what I have shown you, the statistical one, but the alternative one can be very, the amount of alternative data can be very huge and can be very difficult to process by the limitation of our brain. Oh my God, here goes my self-esteem. Okay, just a quick brief. I started my career as an engineer, and then I went to work for an investment bank called China Renaissance, and I was leading the algorithm team to develop algorithm to find a way to evaluate the startups. So what we do is that we try to find if a foreign venture capital wants to invest in a Chinese tech company, then we find the most proper company for them to invest in, and then we can recommend both ways. So I believe for most of you are engineers, so we have built a collaborative filtering model to instead of recommending movies or books, we just recommend the companies to the proper investors. And this decision-making algorithm may require a large quantity of data support. So also right now I'm the founder of the Daslink, and so back to my topic. So human brain can only process this much data. So this is limited by our memory, and especially for the blockchain industry, these data are flooding everywhere, and we have to eat, we have to rest, we have to sleep, and by the time we can process this data have the impact of this data have already been made, or this data have already been expired. So So we are exploring a way that how can we use the technology we have at hand with the machine learning technology we have and the artificial intelligence technology. How can we create a system that can react more? There's a difference between react rationally and irrationally. So we want to create a system that has no motion and then can help investors to make the most reasonable decision by the support of alternative data. So this comes back to my topic today is how can data change our investment behavior. So data can help us to do many things. Investment behavior is just one of them. But another relative topic is how can AI change our future and to our abilities. Our team is able to use the image recognition and other technology to help the venture capitals in East Asia, especially in China and Japan and Korea, to help them to gather more data by the support of our machine learning technology. I will go into detail later. One conclusion is that I think there's no argument around this one is artificial intelligence is changing the world. But let me talk back to the how it's changing the world. So and this is how we have been doing for years. Just a very quick question, show of hands. Have you ever heard of the name China Renaissance? No, probably. Oh, okay, just one. Okay. But probably you have heard of Tencent, JD.com, Jingdong, and probably Alibaba. They are quite famous, right? China Renaissance is an investment bank, but we are just serving for all the tech companies and the TMT industries. As this is concerned, that every $1 billion raised in China and around China, China Renaissance accounted for 40% of this money. And in last year we have helped the companies to raise over $20 billion in China. So the reason why we can have access and we can close this fundraising deal so fast is that we have a perfect support by our data. So our colleagues can set up. We'll meet with over 10,000 entrepreneurs every year. We meet with them and get every slice of data we can have from these guys, and we want to know every single thing, like where do you live, how much do you pay for your gas bill, and how much do you what type of food do you have for lunch, and this data can all be combined into a meeting note, and we will use image recognition algorithm on top of this meeting note to extract the important features and update this into the databases and relate these features onto the company and onto the founders. So this is a pretty huge database. Just imagine for just this number solely, the 10,000 startup meeting. If you are working without weekends, then you have to set up 300 meetings per day. And if you are working 10 hours a day without lunch break and restroom break, then there are 30 meetings you have to make per hour, and you can imagine how many meetings we have in our offices. Probably these meetings happen like in their offices or in a coffee shop. Not only on the company side, we also need to talk to over 8,000 venture capitals. Every venture capitals around the world, we maintain a good relationship with these venture capitals, and because we help these venture capitals to find the perfect company to invest in, and so after we have joined the China Renaissance, we build the algorithm for this company it's a both way recommendation algorithm. So, for example, if a founder of a company wants to see which is the top 50 investors that could be interested in his project, then he called one of our API, and then the list will show up, and he can have a choice to automatically push his business proposal or any other file he have to the email or to the cell phone, or maybe we have WeChat in China, to the investors' WeChat. And this can happen both ways. We can also help the investors to find the companies. But the reason is that this is just consultant services. But one reason that most of the venture capitalists in China are using our system is that we have developed an evaluation algorithm on top of this system. I'm sorry, I have to slide back a little bit. So for the evaluation part, this is basically an involvement of the step front of the collaborative filtering system, which we have a very huge similarity table, and then we use the similarity table to calculate real-time data on top, based on our data sources. And one thing I must mention that our data sources cost us a lot, because all this data are very expensive and they are exclusive. And we have to, for each of our platform's API call, we charge 100 yuan, which equals to maybe $15 per API call. And all our data, all our budget comes, most of this, we pay this revenue back to our data sources. We have to pay 60 to 70%, and these payments are upfront. And sometimes they are a meeting note, a picture of a meeting note, or a PDF file. So we have to apply some very disgusting image recognition algorithm on top of that, and natural language processing of Chinese, Japanese, and Korean languages on top of these files to extract the data we have. The problem we are facing right now is that and for most of the AI companies, that an AI company grow with a perfect algorithm. They want to build a perfect algorithm, but a centralized AI company, if you have unlimited resources, you have unlimited capital resources, and you have so many algorithm developers around the world that can working for you, then you can create a perfect algorithm for yourself. But you have to pay a lot to gather the data you want. For our cases, we have to pay 60 to 70% of our revenue back to the data sources, and the algorithm implementation requires strong resources. You have to hire the best and smartest people, smartest developers around the world to help you to realize your idea, realize your vision. And this all requires strong resources. But it's very awkward for an AI company, because most of the AI company, they are aiming for their go-to-market strategies is aiming for big businesses and big companies, and so the AI company cannot have a positive revenue at the beginning, and it's very difficult for them to attract investment and for fundraising, and those centralized AI company may not be the best solution. And this is one thing I hate most. Because I have to take a simple calculation that I spend almost 2 minutes every day on solving these puzzles, on helping Google to finalize to make his image recognition algorithm better. But that is 2 minutes a day, 15 minutes a week. Okay, probably more than 1,000 minutes a year, which is equal to 3 hours a year. Wasted on this algorithm. So sometimes AI company with strong capital resources, they can finalize their ideas, but right now with the decentralized design and decentralized system, that we found that an AI company with token economy can flip this relationship over and can solve many of the major problems we face. So there are some advantages and disadvantages. So a centralized AI company can be more efficient, can have more efficiency in the beginning, and their use cases are very specific. And for example, if I build an algorithm for the for helping the develop a new drugs or to help the image face recognition for a security system, they are very use case specific. But and it's easier for a startup, but not for the fundraising part. And a decentralized AI company is motivated by the community, and because it's motivated by community, the human beings or every participant in the community can decide where the algorithm goes with the voting rights and with other mechanism involved, integrated into the system. So eventually, a decentralized AI company cannot do harm to human beings. So in most cases, these decentralized AI companies will benefit all parties who involved in this system. So our algorithm, we call it DAS brain. So the DAS brain is involvement of our own algorithm, which is we help the venture capitals to recognize and evaluate this all the companies that with only limited data support, and to help them to make the decision. Maybe it's just a report of Uber, maybe it's a report of an event, probably maybe the Olympic going on next year. Is it next year? I'm not sure. So our system today, I won't go into many details about our algorithm, but mostly we want to use a token system to flip over the relationship we used to have with our data sources. We are not going to pay our data sources anymore. Because we realize that our users are more knowledgeable than our data sources. We are going to use the token as an incentive and a motivation for our users, and to encourage the users to share the data back to us. So in order to get the $10 out of $15 you pay per API call, the users have to share their knowledge of their data. For example, they have to tell us what their thought of our data, to give us feedback, or to give us like some sensitive data, like used to causing a lot of legal problems in before. Like if I want to get the revenue of Uber, detail the daily revenue of Uber, detail the daily user number of Uber, and in order to make our algorithm smarter, we are going to hire the most intelligent people in the world to work for us, not to work for us, to join our community with the same goal and the same consensus vision in their mind to build an AI system. And the AI system is built on top of the algorithm that is so basic, can be applied to any industry because it's image recognition and natural language processing and stuff like that. And we will also expand our business to not only to building a system for the investors, but building an AI system that can benefit every industry and every business in the future. So probably in my vision, that a centralized company, AI company, will be more easy to operate in the beginning. But in the long term, I think a decentralized AI company can tackle all the problems. Not only Alzheimer, but maybe cancer, maybe other problem we cannot solve right now, because we can have the algorithm going to the way to solve the stuff we want to solve by the push of our community and by the decision made by our community. And so So this is a trip introduction of what we have been doing for years. Thanks, and we are short for decentralized data analysis engine powered by machine intelligence. And we have, I think I'm the last speaker here, so, and we have after party at the, I think it's 6 p.m. If you guys want to talk to us about joining our developer group or to test use our system, or want to just discussion about the algorithm, we have a booth right there, and you can join us at our after party. I think it's upstairs somewhere. Thanks.